Tonya Hofmann's fabulous. Tonya Hofmann's fabulous. Tonya Hofmann's fabulous, fabulous TV show. Tonya.
Welcome, everyone. I'm so excited that you're back on the show today. We are going to have such an amazing show, just like every time that I have these amazing guests. We have the Tracy Allen Hanes in the audience. Oh!
Yay. Thank you, Tonya, for having me on your show. I appreciate it.
He is amazing. He's going to wow you. Oh my gosh, the things he's about to tell you, I'm excited to hear. So it's going to be a great show. I want to remind everyone to, if you haven't gone there, go check out the website, publicspeakersassociation.com. Tracy is a fabulous director for us who will be starting up a group for us in downtown Houston probably, so we're excited about that. We also have our huge conference coming up. You don't want to miss that. It's going to be in San Antonio, Texas on the Riverwalk. We're going to have some margaritas. We're going to have fun. So figure out how to get there. It's publicspeakersconference.com. And speakers is with an S. It gives you all the information and everything so that you can jump in and have a great time. We are looking for vendors and sponsors and a few other speakers and coaches too. So holler at me. We'd love to get you there and let's have some fun. Absolutely. So, you know, I always, and first before I start going over my tip for the day, remember to stick around to the end, because Tracy's got an amazing offer that he's going to give you for free, and I'm going to take advantage of this. So you're just going to love it. I'm drooling already. Okay, so today's tip is marketing. Now, I just got off the phone with a lovely lady who's incredibly analytical. And I know some of you out there are analytical type people. You study everything. You try to figure it out. You want everything to be perfect. And it doesn't have to be, okay? You have to think about it in a marketing type of framework, you know. It's about wanting people to want the information. It's wanting your product. It's wanting your service, whatever you have that's fabulous that they need. It's about you getting that information out there. And giving them just the dates, the times, and when to do it is not going to make them go, "Ooh, I can't wait." You have to develop that wow instinct. So whenever you create copy for yourself, if you're making, you know, stuff to put on social media, on your website, wherever you're putting information, stop and think of it. Read it yourself. Read it out loud and say, does this information make me go, "Ooh, I want to take my own class"? And be really honest with yourself, people. You know, even the titles that you use, you know, she was using the top 9 principles to da-da-da-da-da. I was like, the top 9 principles? Principles? I feel like I'm in school. What? We want to have fun. It's about edutainment, okay? Educate a little bit, entertain a heck of a lot, all right? So really look at how to expand yourself for the rest of the year by making people go, "Ooh." That's your purpose in life, is to make people go, "Ooh," okay? So for that leads us right into Mr. Tracy to tell us the ooh about himself. So tell us, Tracy, how are you so fabulous? And I'm sure you weren't always this great, but tell us about you and how you've changed your world.
Well, thanks again for having me, Tonya. It's exciting to be a part of this and be a part of the Professional Speakers Association, to be a director here in Texas. No, I wasn't. Well, yeah, I was fabulous all my life. My mother told me that anyway. So I spent a lot of time in the Navy. I was in the media doing the photography and motion picture camera and directing and doing, you know, all the media stuff for United States Navy from the Western Pacific primarily, from Alaska all the way down to Tasmania and all points in between in the Western Pacific. Wow. So that was an exciting time in my life. I retired in 1998 after 20 years of service, and just got to see all kinds of interesting things in the world and got paid for it. I mean, what better thing can, you know, you can do to get paid for and love what you do and get paid for it. So I thought I was going to end up a career in the NFL, but that fell short. But I'm glad I went to the Navy and met my fabulous wife overseas, and we've been married for 26 wonderful years, 2 great kids. But for some reason, I was always, you know, out front and taking pictures and communicating with people, and that while I was in the Navy kind of sharpened those skills for me. So I got out of the Navy and I had a dream of owning a trucking company. And when I got out, that's what I did. I bought a trucking company, and 9/11 happened, and you know how that all happened. So
Right.
ended up in Houston. A good friend of mine was in charge of photography at NASA for the space shuttle, and he was in the Navy with me. We had a parallel career, and came to Texas 10 years ago. And it's been a rocket ship ride, no pun intended, since I got down here. And we're in our 10th year and kicking off the entrepreneur opportunities. And I helped a business partner publish a book. And
Oh.
he was so excited that I was able to do this for him. This was before Create Space and some of the other things that are available today. And when I gave him that book, his reaction and his face and his gratitude was just so, it touched me so much. I knew that that was what I was supposed to do. I was help people get their message out into the world and take not only my video and photography background, but publishing and all the other platforms that are available today. It's today is this time in history is an opportune time for entrepreneurs and anybody with a message, because the playing field's been leveled. Even with this simple system we're using today, people can get their message out there, but they have to be consistent. And entrepreneurs, authors, speakers, and coaches get hung up in the minutia of their business, and they forget to tell people or have other people talk about what they're doing and talk about them, about, you know, out on the media talking about what they're doing. And I know, what was the last time you submitted a press release, Tonya? Is a trick question. Well,
we'll have to talk about that.
so, you know, authors and speakers, they got to get themselves out there. Coaches and business people, even the local business owner, can take advantage of celebrity status within their local community by simply publishing videos and podcasting and getting on programs like yours, Tonya, and getting themselves out there so they can share and people know what they're doing. And then they start attracting themselves, attracting clients to themselves.
Don't you find too that because there was so much push to do everything yourself, from doing your own books to do your own videos, that people forgot there's so many amazing information from people who already know, right? I love hiring the experts so I don't have to figure it out myself, right?
Exactly. I mean, people that are coming out of corporate America, they have this expertise, and the learning curve for building a website, doing a video, building a podcast, being a LinkedIn publisher is overwhelming.
Yeah.
So why don't you concentrate on what you know, turn it over to an expert, and let them push the button on the elevator and take you up to where you need to go, so you can concentrate on speaking and things like that.
Did you find when you were doing videos and things like that, that it was different to be behind the camera than to be in front of the camera? And how did you transition, or if you had to?
Well, it came kind of naturally for me, from being in the front of it and post-production. I'm sorry, being in the back of it and post-production and editing and things like that. And then, of course, you transition to the front of the camera. It was just a natural for me, so to speak. But it was
Nice.
You just got to get out there and do it. People get hung up on it, and you know, perfect is not what we're looking for. Just like you opened up with, you know, 80%. Get it out there, get better and better as you do it, and you won't have a problem. And you'll have all this stuff out there, and people will be able to find you.
You know, it's so funny to me. I need to find it. I've got it saved someplace. I'm sure my hard disk or something. But I had my very first video was in like 2006, 2007, and I sounded like a robot. I was like, "Hello, I'm Tonya Hofmann, and you're welcome to find out." You know, it was awful.
We all go through it. I mean, it's all there. Get out there and fail quickly is what I can tell you.
Right. And you know what I did, and I think this is something that everyone can really do, is it's about doing things over and over and over again until finally you're like, oh wow, it's not a big issue anymore. So I scheduled 30 videos and I just set them up, and I realized what you were saying is the more that I stopped perfecting it, the better I got. So instead of writing it all out and memorizing it, instead of doing that, I just hit bullet points, because you know what you're going to talk about, right? And they're short little videos. They're like 3
Exactly.
minutes. So how bad can you really mess it up?
Yeah.
But I did 30 in a row. And of course, the first one isn't definitely as good as the 30th. I got better, right?
Sure. I mean, even 3 minutes, for me, that's a little long. I'm talking 30 seconds. You can get a 30-second powerful message out to your audience. And it could be motivational, or it could be content. You can start off with, did you know? Or from the desk of Tracy A. Hanes, did you know this? Boom, click it out, go to the next one. My record is in one sitting, 20 videos. So you got me on that one.
I did not do 30 at a time, that's for sure.
Boom, boom, boom. Outstanding.
But a lot of people, you know, they think that their first one has to be this masterpiece instead of just getting out there and doing it and getting beyond the first.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you on a little secret. I wasn't good when I first started, and you know, I do a lot of publishing now, and I got C's in English. Imagine that. I mean, so I get back to my 30-year class reunion, my classmates are go, how in the heck are you publishing books? I mean, you barely got through English. What's the deal? And I'm like, there's a lot of C students working, or, you know, there's a lot of A students working for C students right now. So,
Oh, yeah. Well, and to me, it's so funny because we do get better. You know, I had a friend that I kind of let go as a friend
right?
about
Sometimes you
10
got to
years
do
ago.
that.
All right. She was just kind of negative, and I was like, okay, I'm just done with the negativity. So what I did was invited her just not too long ago to a presentation that I was in, and because she was starting her business, and I was like, I want to be supportive, you know. So she comes to it, and she hadn't seen me in 10 years, and she saw me, and afterwards she was like, oh my gosh, Tonya, who are you? You're funny now. And I'm
You've
like,
been reborn, yeah.
hey, you can make whoever you want to be, but a lot of
That's
it
right.
is getting it out there and doing it, and pretty soon you just, you know, fit into who you're supposed to be, I think.
Yes, that's it.
So
Correct.
tell me a little bit, or give our audience a little bit of a, you know, some tips, techniques, something to help them change their world.
Well, the tips to change your world is, if you're in business, or if you're, uh, you know, maybe you don't have a business, or you're just trying to improve your life, is everybody needs a coach, or everybody could use a coach, and that coach could come in different forms. I have several coaches. I have speaking coaches, I have content coaches, I have inspirational coaches, and they could be one-on-one, or you can just read books. You have to be an insatiable reader, and get that education. That self-education is what's going to make your fortune. The college education, if you need to be a doctor, an attorney, or a lawyer that requires a college education, that's fine. And carry it on to the amazing statistics of people that don't read books is staggering. And there is so much good information in personal development, is to, I would say, dive into the personal development arena and start working on your mindset and your thought processes, because the way we were brought up and the way we were taught from our childhood on is, you know, only going to get you so far. If you want to step out there and really, you know, impact the world, you have to get into the self-development programs. And people like Jim Rohn and Tony Robbins and Brendan Burchard and all those guys got great quality stuff, and I encourage you to get into it and read a book. I mean, if you'd see the stack of books I've read last year, you would like, really? I haven't read those many books in a lifetime. But I'm sure you're the same way, Tonya. The books is just, you just got to do it.
Yeah, and if you're out there and you're like, oh, I have no time to write a book, you spend 30 minutes in your car at some point during the day. So get a CD at least, you know, and listen to something, you know.
Every book has a CD version of it, so there's no excuse. I mean, you're
Yeah.
commuting an hour, hour and a half, some people, that awesome time, turn that into your PhD, into your car.
Yeah, Fleetwood Mac can wait. So,
That,
you know.
exactly. I used to tell my daughter, you know, she used to, when we used to go on trips when I had my trucking company, I would be in total silence, but I would have earphones in listening to something, and I'd go 10 hours without turning the radio on. And she's like, Dad, are we going to turn the radio on? I was like, no, I'm listening to this in my ear, and I said, well, how can you hear, the spirit talking to you if you got all this music running into your head? She's like, well, I'll be back here asleep. She just go back there and sleep. Gotta have it.
Awesome. So what else do you have? I mean, you've done so much in your life, from videos. Maybe how do you get yourself out there and promote yourself and market yourself?
Well, that's an exciting statement. The big event last year in 2014 is all these things that we were doing came together and culminated with a co-authorship with Les Brown and in the book Bold, and 12 other new authors. Some of them had been published before, but most of them are new authors. And that's evolved into a book tour for 2015. First stop is Houston, and April 3rd. And that culminated in helping people. And I want to reiterate this: when you help people, it boomerangs. It comes back. If you do things for people that you intend for nothing in return, and I challenge you, the listeners, to go out there and do something for somebody that's just over the top and wows them, because it's going to come back tenfold. I mean, there's more truth to that than anything. And you get that from self-educating yourself and studying the people that are successful. And that's the different mindset between you, Bill Gates, or Warren Buffett, or any of those folks. Steve Jobs, is their mindset. And the having that mindset and giving people and helping people that weren't able to get something that you can help them with and do it for them. That's how I was drawn to Les Brown. Now, we're associated with him in the book, and it's just rocketed from there. And a lot of my clients I get from speaking, being involved with meetups and meeting people every day. I find out that you have to get out from behind that computer and get out in public and start talking to people.
Yeah.
And introduce yourself, because there's people out there that need what you have.
Well, and don't you think too, because I mean, Les came to my event, this last year, and we've got other great people coming this year, but it's about reaching out, and the most people can do is say no, right? And so I always go in with, how can I help you? What's in it for you? And then most people, when you're helping them, they automatically want to figure out how to help you back. But you don't go in with that in mind. And that's the hardest part, because most people have an agenda.
Sure.
And you got to be careful with the agenda.
Right, yeah. Just blank out the agenda part and just go in with love and feeling and help and being helpful, and amazing things happen. And be grateful. Every day you need to walk this earth and be grateful for the littlest things. Even if you think you're walking in the darkness, be grateful for the darkness, because it's going to, you're going to draw the things to you that you want. And the first thing is to be grateful for what you have now.
Right. If you're always walking in fear, you're going to continue to walk in fear. But if you start hanging around with people like yourself and me and other people that are smiling, we're like, let's all help, let's collaborate, let's do things together, let's move forward. That's when things really, I think, started exploding for me, is when I got rid of the negative people in my life. You can't do this, Tonya. What are you trying to do that for? Blah, 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 right? And start to walk with people that are encouragers, that can really believe in you,
Yes, surround yourself with those people. My journey hasn't been a straight arrow. You've seen that graphic where they think success is like that, but it's around and around, and it finally straightens out. And you're going to go through the valley. When you're in the valley, it's not a bad thing, because that's where it's the greenest. And you can prepare yourself for the next climb, and been there, done that more than once. So it's the part where you continue to get up and keep climbing the mountain and put one foot in front of the other, is the ones that are successful.
Exactly. For a lot of people, I think even for myself, I mean, we all get to that point where we start believing sometime our own Kool-Aid, right? We drink too much of our own Kool-Aid, and we start believing in our own press releases. And you're like, okay, come down, and you've got to stay real and authentic. And I see a lot of people that start to change who they are to pretend that they're somebody that they're really not. And then you can see that they suddenly went off on this path, and you're like, come back. I liked you the way you were. What happened?
Yeah, you're not in competition with anybody. You're only in competition with yourself, and you only need to improve better than what you did the day before or the other day or last week is to get better in that regard. And again, I can't reiterate enough is to get into that self improvement mode, or I don't like that word self improvement, but high performance mode, where you can improve your thought processes and see yourself transform into the direction that you need to go, and you'll start attracting the things that change your life. It happens. I'm a product of that.
I know.
I'm sure you are too.
Oh, don't we all, and I think that everybody that I've met that's been a huge success, they have gone through huge challenges. And I found a quote, and I've told listeners before, it's my favorite quote, life is not about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself. And at that moment because I'm not a big quote person, but this one kind of hit me, is I've been searching for who I was supposed to be when all I had to do is go create who I wanted to be.
That's it.
And to really look at yourself and say, what's really important to me? And then who do I want to hang around? And you can hang around who you want to hang around. It's up to you.
Yeah, you get a choice. I just seen Barbara Corrigan. She's one of my favorite from Shark Tank, and I quote a lot of her things that she's done in business. Today she had a quote. Your challenge is not with your competition. It's what's running inside your head is your challenge. Always.
Always. And for a lot of people, that is the biggest issue, is believing that they aren't somebody. I hear, and even for myself, I remember the moment when I decided to do something really big with my life. I wanted to go out and change the world, but I kept hearing inside my head, oh, but you're just little Tonya.
You got one of those too? You got that
person? Yeah. I was like, who are you to go and change the world? Who are you? And I was like, well, who am I not?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You turn around and say, sit down. I'm not talking to you. Be quiet.
I love it.
That's right. Sit down. Yeah. And you got to improve your mind, your mindset to suppress that and not buy into it, because people will go all their lives and let that person dictate what they do.
Oh yeah.
And they get on that deathbed, and nobody says, they always say, I wish I had taken time to do this or do that, or they never say, I wish I had more money, or I wish I had more possessions. It's always, I wish I'd have spent the time to do this, or I wish I'd have started this, or it's sad. I've seen it in my own parents. I mean, it wasn't their fault. It was right there in front of them the whole time, and nobody was just there to guide them. And that's why it's important to have coaches.
Oh yeah. And really too, I hear the words that irritate me the most is, oh, Tonya, I'm not ready. I'm not ready to do video. I'm not ready to do your TV show. I'm not ready to do a virtual event. I'm not ready to go speak. I'm not ready. I'm like, when? When is that special magical moment? And, even for me, I've done things that I'm like, oh, I don't know. And I'm like, oh, if I'm scared, I'm doing it, because that's not going to keep me from doing it.
That's how you grow. You have to, if you're scared, you need to move forward, and that's how you grow.
Love it.
And improve. So
perfect. And I know that you're giving us away something amazing today. What are you giving our listeners?
Well, this is pretty cool. I've got a new white paper. How would the audience like to be featured on a major media network this afternoon or this evening, or almost immediately? How would you like to figure that out? Or how would you like to be able to learn how to do that? So I'm not going to reveal the media outlet, but it's major. Okay, it's a major outlet that you can be. I can teach you how to be a contributor every week and get your content out there, and not in a salesy way, but an educator and an advocate way to your audience, so you can start positioning yourself as the expert in your content. And
nice.
You can get that. You want me to tell them where they can get it?
Please.
You can get that at my website. That's of course, it's immediatecelebritystatus.com/free. That's immediatecelebritystatus.com/free. And You'll be able to download that white paper, and I guarantee that you'll be able to get on a major network as soon as you read that white paper and take action. That's the key. Take action, and you'll get there. And that'll be the first step for establishing your authority.
Nice. And I'm sure they can find out all about you on your website too.
Absolutely. They can go to the same website.
Nice. All right, everyone. Make sure you take advantage of that. Oh my gosh, wouldn't you like to be on a major network? I mean, who wouldn't? And I know some of you are going, I'm not ready.
I don't know how to write.
I
I got C's in English. We can do it.
Yeah, if you and I even have an English degree, and it's questionable, okay?
Right.
I can edit anybody else's stuff, just don't ask me to edit my own stuff.
Right.
So take advantage of Tracy's offer. You know, I always amazed how generous all of our guests are. So take advantage of it. It doesn't cost you anything. Just go and see his website. Take advantage, right? You don't even have to do anything. I know you're not ready, but do it anyways. So thank you, Tracy, for being on today.
My pleasure. Thank you, Tonya. I'm looking forward to the Public Speakers Association.
Yay! And we would love to have you back on my TV show shortly.
That'd be great.
I know you've got a few things you could tell us.
I got a few things in my back pocket.
I've never been lost for words, so I'm sure you're that way too. And everyone, I'm so glad that you joined us today. Make sure that you go to the websites publicspeakers.association.com and then check out about the conference. We would love to have you there. It's publicspeakersconference.com, and we've got a huge lineup of people that we have coming in. We also have a lot of people that are coming in to actually book you to speak. And I know some of you are going, I'm not ready. Get ready. Let's have fun. We have people that are looking for articles for magazines. We've got people that are coming that are looking for radio shows, TV shows, conferences, all kinds of fabulous events. So come, enjoy, and have fun and learn. It's all about, like Tracy said, it's all about learning. So everyone, thank you for coming. Thank you, Tracy. See y'all later.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.